Thank you. So this is a little different in that, you know, a lot of our guests up till now have been, you know, part of very established game companies, but Samsung is sort of getting its feet wet here, right? So
yeah, we're a very large startup. And, thank you for having me here, Dean, and I'm honored to be part of this August audience.
Oh, thank you. So tell us more about your background. I guess you've worked at Disney, you've worked at other game companies as well before, but tell us about it.
Got started at Activision before the Blizzard moniker was added to it, and then went on to a startup called Jamdat Mobile, went to Romania to start a studio for Jamdat, and that was very successful. We were acquired by Electronic Arts at some point, and then I moved on to Disney, and now I'm at Samsung, fairly new to the game.
And you worked for John Pleasant at Disney, and he's over at Samsung as well now. So.
Yeah, John, I definitely work with John, and he's one of the paragons in the industry. Very happy to do so.
So, what are you doing with the Samsung Galaxy Apps Store? First, like, how far is its reach already? Right.
So, first of all, a few words about the group that I'm part of. We're called Emerging Platforms. Part of what we do is to nurture the development community around Samsung technologies. And the store is an important component of that. We want to provide Samsung developers a marketplace, a viable marketplace for their wares. And we want to also provide to the industry at large an entry point to the universe of Samsung devices, mobile, tablets, and wearables. And we merchandise the stores in North America. We also manage part of the certification process to get into the store. And effectively, we're trying to simplify that procedure and to make it developer friendly. And we want to position the store as a viable alternative to other marketplaces, to other app stores in that space. Important to know that we're not planning to compete against Google Play. We actually want to collaborate with Google Play. We would like very much to have a store that provides a new discovery experience to our users, complementary to Google Play. Obviously, we're both part of the Android ecosystem. We think we can contribute a new discovery mechanism to publishers of games and applications at large.
So some people, I'm sure, in the audience are going like, you know, why do we need this store? You know, we're 7 years in with Apple, and they've got a $10 billion a year business for developers. Google Play is very well established as well. You know, what sort of alternative do you mean is possible here?
So the Google Play Marketplace is a democratic entry point into the Android ecosystem. We aim to be a touch point for developers that are creating experiences that are unique to Samsung devices, and therefore we need our own storefront to achieve that. In addition, we want the development community to have a different access experience to our users. So I think the fact that Google Play is a democratic store implies that that's an entry point to thousands of developers, hundreds of thousands. Actually, I believe the figure is well over 1 million developers currently. And our store is a curated experience. It's a more boutique experience as an exclusive offering to Samsung customers only.
So, and you're also, say, then not going to go for volumes of games. You're not going to have a million games, right?
Definitely not. Our store aims to be an invite-only store. It will be a very selective experience. It is a store that enjoys popular support from millions of users. It is preloaded on Samsung devices, mobiles and tablets today around the world. As a result, we get a lot of traffic into the store. And
there like 500 million of those or something? It's a large number.
Samsung account numbers are staggering, over 400 million accounts. But we are interested primarily in talking to the game development community to transform our store by onboarding content that has in-app purchase enabled. I think it's part of the reason that this store has not been prominent in the past, has been that the quality of the content can continue to evolve, and also that we need to have an offering of freemium games for our customers. That's what they want, and that's what we want them to have as well.
And how does more of the pitch to developers go? Because I guess when you look at it out there and a developer has an option or a choice, they can look at the installed base of the big guys and never feel like they need an alternative, I guess, right? Their reach is so far with some of those stores.
I would think that would be a missed opportunity for them to reach new customers and other customers. Certainly, we also look forward to working with indie developers that may not have the same promotion and featuring opportunities that the big publishers have on the established app stores. And I think what you can achieve in working with Samsung and with Galaxy apps in particular is more predictable featuring, a tighter relationship. If you think of an invite-only store, then quality matters, and you have a more intimate and personal relationship with our staff than you would have with the established stores.
And you're actively merchandising now. I guess what kind of results are you getting?
We just started this program. Our strategy is obviously an evolution of the work that was being done in the past. I think it's a little bit too early to communicate how we're doing because we're effectively granted the opportunity to merchandise the North American stores very recently. We're talking about a matter of a month. But yeah, we're very excited, and we look forward to working with all of you and to partner together to generate as much revenue and traffic for your games as possible, and to exploit this unique touch point into the Samsung ecosystem.
So what would you say are some things you need to work on or work toward, I guess, still to somehow maybe just deliver a better experience or get more downloads, or some of the things on your checklist maybe?
Yes, we want to simplify the certification process. I mentioned this already. I think it's absolutely paramount that it's simpler than it has been. It is not our goal to completely eliminate it, because I think that controls quality, and that is very important for the kind of experience that we would like to offer our customers. We're working at obviously changing the merchandising strategy, and the look and feel of the store will transform in the coming months, and has already started actually to transform, if you care to take a look at it. Additionally, I would love to talk to the community at large. A large part of what we do is not just to promote the store. Really what we're interested in is in fostering a community of developers that build applications that tie in our various platforms. So our team's mission is quite unique in the fact that we stride across screens, so mobile, tablet, wearables, VR, Internet of Things, and anything else around the corner that Samsung may be working on. It's a very unique position for this particular team versus many other segments within Samsung. So we can be a powerful liaison to each of the product teams in each of the segments, and also we can conceptualize with you, and ideate with you some experiences that can stride across the board. I think that can be very powerful, tying in mobile with a wearable and the TV and Internet of Things, the entire house. I think that can be transformative. And I think we're just scratching the surface on terms of the opportunity there. I think there are very few services that are as ambitious as what I described.
We could do Internet of Things games, right?
Yes. How amazing, right?
Okay. I gotta get my head around that.
Yeah, me too.
So right now, what happens when someone wants to do a Samsung Gear VR app?
Again, we are a wonderful entry point for anyone interested to develop for the Gear VR. I think, by the way, Gear VR is a fantastic opportunity for developers, because if you look at the evolving Gear VR space, and to parallel what Gian Ricotella said earlier today, there is actually a subsidized model for VR, and that is the Gear VR. This very beautiful device powers the VR experience. Octa-core processor, Xeon processor, exceptionally powerful, 3 GB of RAM, right? I think, and that is the core of the VR experience in the Gear VR headset. And so, out of if you have the mobile device, the entry point, the cost entry point into the Gear VR experience is quite low, quite minimal. So I think it would be a very powerful mass market device. That point aside, I think we are a perfect entry point. Like you as developers, if you're interested in Gear VR, we look forward to the partnership. Please send me an email. I will route that email to the right people within the Samsung organization that can help you get your content to market.
And so Samsung's a huge company, right? How do you try to innovate in your part of it?
The key ingredient to innovation in a corporate environment is persistence. Have a very clear strategy of what you're trying to achieve and keep to it and talk to as many people and try to convince. Honestly, I don't think it's that different than innovating in a kind of a startup space. You have to talk to VCs, you have to talk to potential employees, you have to convince people that your strategy is 100% correct, and you have to try to inspire. So we do that every day, and so far I can tell you, Dini, Samsung is an amazing company to work for, because you have the liberty to do and try very new things, and there's an appetite for innovation, that I don't think it's sung appropriately in the broader market. I think there's a lot of new technology innovation that happens at the company, both in the software but especially in the hardware space, that is absolutely tremendous. And I was very impressed by that. Getting to see it underneath the hood, so to speak.
So you mentioned touchpoint, and that's like an interesting word, I guess, where there's different ways to get into something. Like, so if somebody's a Harry Potter fan, they can watch the movie, they could read the books, or whatever. It's an entry point. I just wonder how well it has done in this space, I guess, where I can think of things like a Verizon store or an AT&T store that have been, disrupted by things like the Apple iTunes App Store or Google Play, right? So, how do you make your touch point really when that counts, I guess?
Our presence on all our devices is already making the store count by sheer penetration, if you will. The traffic that we generate is actually very, very significant within the Android marketplace. And then our focus is on providing developers with a unique marketplace to unveil their Samsung custom engineered software onto our platforms. And I think that will always be very important for the company and very relevant to our customers as well. If you want, for example, an application that utilizes the Edge in our Note 4 device or in the S6 Edge device, you will only find it in our store. And that is, again, realizing the full potential, the full functionality of the device. We want to be able to provide that unique experience to our customers. And they want the marketplace as well. And we want that marketplace to be as dynamic, as vital as possible.
I guess when I think about it, stores have been very important. I mean, Amazon's a store, right? And Steam is also an interesting store. So I don't know. Sometimes stores have potential, right?
Absolutely. And I think there is potential for partnership with all the storefronts, but particularly with Google Play. Look forward to working with them in the future.
Cool. Do we have any questions in the audience here? And anything I missed? Mention?
I think, like going back to the theme of interconnectedness, multi-platform presence for software. And I think there have been several themes tonight. We've heard about mobile and potentially other devices interacting. I think the CTO, King CTO, was mentioning this. In my mind, I think it's an unexplored territory. We've already agreed on that. And our team here at Samsung Emerging Platforms can be part of the solution. We have a small group of producers and engineers in our midst that look forward to partnering with you, game developers, to create what we would call co-developed experiences. So the hard task about creating connected experiences is the fact that these platforms can be challenging to develop for. And we can help you achieve that in a much easier manner than you would on your own. So our engineers could partner with you, our production people could help you navigate the technology aspects as well as the practical production aspects of working within the Samsung ecosystem. So it's important to note that not only we are a storefront, but we are also a development group that aims to establish these co-developed apps, particularly the ones that attempt to provide a multi-screen experience to customers. So I think that would be interesting to collaborate on experiences like that. Mobile TV, wearables, and Internet of Things, again, unexplored territory and full of opportunity, I think.
Have a question here?
Hi. You mentioned 450 million Samsung accounts, I think. How many of them have credit card information stored?
I don't actually know that figure entirely. It's a much smaller number than that, but still very significant. I would have to get back to you on that point. I honestly do not know.
Any other questions there? Nolan.
When you talk about the Internet of Things, is Samsung doing anything in the iBeacon or Estimote space? I've always wanted to have a geo-aware game, and the technology is just really crappy. And I was just wondering if anybody's working on something that gives a little more precision.
First of all, I was asked a question by Nolan Bushnell, so this must be the pinnacle of my career. We have a fabulous team, Nolan, within Samsung. It's called the Smart Things team, and they've been doing a lot of innovation in the Internet of Things space, and I do believe they have the technology that you're looking for. So let me connect you with them if you're interested in that space, or if your company is interested in that space, and they could potentially work with you to develop something together. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.